Good morning. How are you today? Saturday morning, April 20. The month is flying by very quickly. So is this year. Today, we're going to do a tour of a very popular site in Rome today called the Pantheon. And it is an ancient Roman temple. Uh, I believe that was built in 609 AD. Let me let me get back to the reading on that. Let me show you a picture of it. This is There you go. So that's the outside of it of the Roman temple. It's got a unique dome that doesn't have any inside supports that you can see internal. And it's a very beautiful and ornate building. Very popular site. You'll see that in the video. Also, here's a picture of the floor plan. So this is kind of the outsides where the steps are, and you just kind of walk into it and just kind of walk around. And it's a very large building, actually, can hold quite a few people. Here is a picture of it on the inside right there. See how beautiful that floor is? Isn't that amazing? And very ornate. That's the ceiling right there above there. And then here's the ceiling itself right there. So it's very tall. It's a very tall building inside. And then here is a picture of it at night. So it's very beautiful. So if you're in Rome, I highly recommend that to go see this building as well as others. Another popular site is called Trevi Fountains. That's a very nice place outside, beautiful water fountains and stuff. So let me go back to here. Okay, so what we'll do is like we always do, we'll go to the video. I have two, one outside, one inside. It's a little noisy because people are talking and having a good time. So we'll go to the video and I'll catch you on the other side of both of them actually.
But it'd be kind of cool to stay in a place like that with a balcony. Yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and start like we do normally after the video. We'll do a little reading about it. So what is the Pantheon? So the Pantheon, from Greek, is a temple of all the gods. It's a former Roman temple, and since AD 609, a Catholic church. My apologies, I thought it was built in 609, but obviously not. It's an ancient temple. So in AD 609, it became a Catholic church. The name Basilica Santa Maria and Martyrs, or Basilica of St. Mary and the Martyrs. Martis in Rome, Italy. It was built on the site of an earlier temple commissioned by Marcus Agrippa during the reign of Augustus in 27 BC through AD 14. Then, after that, it burnt down in a fire. The present building was ordered by the Emperor Hadrian and probably dedicated around AD 126. Its date of construction is uncertain because Hadrian chose not to inscribe the new temple, but rather to retain the inscription of Agrippa's older temple. The building is round in plan, and I showed you the floor plan, except for the portico with the large granite Corinthian columns that you see right there in the front there, the portico where you go in. It has granite Corinthian columns, 8 in the first rank, 2 groups of 4 behind it under a pediment. A rectangular vestibule links the porch to the rotunda, which is the round part that you see. You typically see that in capitals of states, and under the United States Capitol, a rotunda in the middle there, which is under a coffered concrete dome with a central opening called an oculus, to the sky. Almost 2,000 years after it was built, the Pantheon's dome is still the world's largest unreinforced concrete dome. The height to the oculus, and the diameter of the interior circle are the same, 43 meters or 142 feet. So that's a very large building inside. Interesting. And it is one of the best preserved of all of the ancient Roman buildings, in large part because it's been in continuous use throughout its history. Since the 7th century, it's been a church dedicated to St. Mary and the martyrs, known as Santa Marita Rotunda. The square in front of the Pantheon is called the Piazza della Rotunda. The Pantheon is a state property managed by Italy's Ministry of Cultural Heritage and Activities and Tourism. Through Polo Masil de Lazio, I'm not sure what that is. I don't know if that's organization. In 2013, it was visited by that's a lot. 2013, it was visited by over 6 million people. Sure, that's a lot. The Pantheon's large circular dome cella, or probably ceiling, with a conventional temple portico in front, was unique in Roman architecture. Nevertheless, it became a standard exemplar when classical styles were revived and has been copied many times by later architects. Let me read this a little bit. Okay, in the aftermath of the Battle of Actium in 31 BC, Marcus Agrippa started an impressive building program. The Pantheon was part of the complex created by him on his own property in the Campus Martius in 29 to 19 BC. This included 3 buildings aligned from south to north, the Baths of Agrippa, we'll visit those, the Basilica of Neptune, and the Pantheon. It seems likely that the Pantheon and the Basilica of Neptune were Agrippa's sacra private, not public temples. They're privately owned, obviously. The former would help explain how the building could have so easily lost its original name and purpose. Zalowski contends that it was originally the Temple of Mars in Campo in such a relatively short period of time. It has long been thought that the current building was built by Agrippa, with later alterations undertaken, and this was in part because of the Latin inscription on the front of the temple, right there on the picture about halfway, is the description. It's M. Agrippa, L.F. Costerm Tivim Facit, or in full means meaning Marcus Agrippa, son of Lucius, made this building when consul for the third time. Okay. However, archaeological excavations have shown that the Pantheon of Agrippa had been completely destroyed except for the facade. Lise Hetland argues that the present construction began in 114 under Trajan, 4 years after it was destroyed by fire for the second time. This was in Oris 7.12. I guess that's a book. She re-examined Herbert Bloch's 1959 paper, which is responsible for the commonly maintained Hadrianic date, and maintains that he should not have excluded all of the Trajanic era bricks from his brick stamp study. Her argument was particularly interesting in light of Hillmeyer's argument that, based on stylistic evidence, the Apollodorus of Damascus, Trajan's architect, was the obvious architect of this building. Okay. I think that'll be all the reading. I'll just add this. The Augustan Pantheon was destroyed along with other buildings in a fire AD. Domitian rebuilt the Pantheon, which was burnt again in 110 AD. I would say they need a fire suppression system in ancient Rome. Seems like a lot of the buildings got burnt down. So, yeah. So, all right. So, yeah. I wanted to show, I wanted to show this night picture again. I thought this was particularly beautiful in there. So, I mean, that's very striking. I'm sure there's been a lot of paintings and photographic images taken of that. Wow. And again, this was the ceiling, how it looks on the top there. And it's an unreinforced concrete dome with an oculus right there opening in the center there. And that's its only light source in the building. And it keeps it pretty well lit, I would say. This is the interior again with the beautiful floor. It's amazing how beautiful this really is. And I don't know if there's some other rooms. I haven't actually been in there, but I know I can see some statuary and stuff like that. But I don't know if there are other rooms in here that maybe have some artwork. Somebody wants to comment in the comments section. I'd be interested in hearing about that. Yeah. And this is the floor plan. It looks like there are some little, according to the floor plan, at least some insets, and these probably have statuary all along the place, all the way around. So it kind of looks like those are some openings there. And then again, that's the outside of it. So I'll go back to the video. We usually, review the video just for reinforcement purposes. So I'll go ahead and show that again. So.
But it'd be kind of cool to stay in a place like that with a balcony. Yeah.
All righty. I know I said this at the beginning and stuff, you ever wonder why I'm so into the Roman history? I studied ancient history in college at the University of Alabama, and that included Roman history, Egyptian history, a lot of the ancient civilizations of the past, and that anthropology and archaeology, had all of that kind of stuff, and got a minor in that. So I have a really good strong interest in that. So I've always wanted to kind of talk about it. I'm not an expert on like podcasts. I'm trying to be though. So it's a work in progress. I'm starting to feel like I got a knack for it and stuff. And if you remember this library that we're in, this was actually created by Dolly E, which is artificial intelligent app that's open source that you can create images on. So I created a bunch of different library images, and I had shown it earlier. Each one of those of the Roman villa. And so, of course, we're all interested in television on the wall there and stuff. So this is a television on the wall. Well, of course, they didn't have electricity in that day. So this is, you might think of it as a painting on the wall and stuff. So yeah, that's the Roman Forum that you're looking at. So if you were to look out the window there to right there, yeah, that is the Colosseum outside, so Roman Colosseum, and we looked at that yesterday. So before I wanted to show you the map. So let me enlarge this. Hold up so you can see it a little better. I'll just talk it out. So if you look at the lower right there, that's the Colosseum. And we had a podcast last week about the Colosseum, so we discussed that. And right across the street, which is a big street, is the Roman Forum. Okay, so all that area is the Roman Forum. If you were wanting to go to the Pantheon, which you see up at B, right there, Pantheon, it from Roman Forum area, it's about a 0.9 mile walk, 17 minutes. Or if you wanted to drive it along this road here, it's 1.5 miles, so 10 minutes. So, I kind of recommend just walking it and just stay off the beaten path of automobile and stuff. If you look to the northeast there, you'll see Trevi Fountain. That too is a very popular site, Trevi Fountain, and then above it is the Piazza di Spagna. So that's obviously it looks like another fountain and stuff. So yeah, all of this stuff is really close by in there. To the far left, there's Vatican City. So if you're into that, to go over there and see that is Well, that's right over there. That's probably about, if I had to guess, 10 miles, over 7 miles, something like that. So that probably needs to be driven. So, yeah, uh, I love Rome and stuff. Beautiful, beautiful city and stuff. So let me go back to, let me close that. So today, just kind of as a review, uh, we looked at the Pantheon. It's an ancient Roman temple and is now Catholic Church. Um, yeah. So today on the Table Talk podcast, I'm going to talk about, well, Flutter. Hold up. One moment. One moment. Did I embarrass myself? Uh, Morgan Wallen. He's the one that the country singer. He threw the chair off of the um, building. Yeah, I must have closed it. But yeah, I'm gonna be talking about him. He's spoken out on it. So yeah. All right. Well, today that will conclude the podcast for the portal. I appreciate you joining us, and uh, I guess we'll see you next week at the same time. So wherever you are, hope you have a great Saturday. Looks like all of the basketball kind of ended on the uh, NCAA March Madness and stuff for both the men and the women. So probably golf and baseball. Alabama had their A-Day game last week too, so that was good. They looked good. So that's where I went, University of Alabama. So yeah. So all right. Well, I'll let y'all go. You have a great Saturday. We'll see you next week. Take care, my friends.